Welcome back to Houston at the George R. Brown Convention Center. I'm Mark Husenberger at the Texas High School Coaches Association Convention with Texas Sports Productions, and we are joined by Alamo Heights head coach Mike Norment. Well, Coach, back in the playoffs and got to your playoff victory. Now, I know the community is always hungry for that. Tell us a little bit about last year.
Oh, last year was a great year. We had a great senior class. They worked hard, like all classes do. But we'd had a successful season, and we made the playoffs, and that's something that we expect to do. Kids expect it. It's an expectation in the community, and so we were able to accomplish that. But this is a new year and new expectations and new season.
Well, there's been a peculiar dynamic with Alamo Heights. Reading through district minutes and tiebreakers is a little like reading the tax code in most cases. But I know that Alamo Heights over the last several years, you missed the playoffs twice in the last 4 years. And if you're playing under the same rules each time, you would have made the playoffs one of those times. But it's just a weird, freaky thing. Tell us about managing all those situations, because the tedious details on the gridiron are one thing, but the tedious things at the conference table can end up being just as important.
Well, yeah, and 4 years ago there was a lot of controversy, and that's in the past. But I think since then we got the district minutes taken care of, and everybody knows the situation, and so that's something once you hit district, you have to start thinking about points. How many points do we have, and how many points have we given up with everybody. And so that's just something that comes with the game. Once you hit district, you've got to know how many points you in a game, and what's the maximum points, and all that goes into it. Starting game 4, when we hit the district schedule, and so that's just one of the extra things that and we are talking about that. The coaches are on the sidelines. In the fourth quarter, how many points do we have? We might have to go for another touchdown. I know maybe people in the stands don't realize that. Why are those guys scoring a third touchdown in the fourth quarter when they're already up 14 points? But that's one of the points, and being on the bad side of not making the playoffs, because of points, it's just something you're thinking about when you're in the district.
And I know your fellow coaches in the district will understand that sort of thing. But as you mentioned, the fans in the stands may not see the whole situation, and I've seen that too, where the team is running the ball when they're up 15 from the 2-yard line with a minute left, but you got to be ready for that.
Well, and that's one of the things that you have to make sure you have a great rapport with, at least your parents, and you have to let them know this is the situation, so they understand if a team scores late against you that, hey, no, they're doing what they have to do. Same thing on our side. At least our parents know that we're not running up the score. We're just trying to get to the maximum points.
You had the D1 and the D2 in football for the first time in 5A. How did you like that for Alamo Heights?
Well, we were pretty much the same district. I mean, we were very similar. We have the Tyvees and the Champions and the Lockharts and Medina Valley. So we were real similar. What's difficult, and one of the things I don't like is that I love to have a rivalry with, like, we have Bernie Champion and Tyvee, and we don't see them in any other sport besides football. And so that was probably the only thing that I didn't like, is that we're two completely different districts, with football and then everything else. But I think it helps us out. We're a small 5A. We're landlocked. We're never going to grow very much, and so I think this levels the playing field across the state. So I liked it. I thought it was a good thing for us.
It is kind of mind-bending. Now, is Medina Valley a district game or a non-district game? And it does depend on what sports you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that there are any better ideas, though. There's the demand for the extra football championship,
Mm-hmm.
so that's where the D1, D2 comes from. But with all the crossover athletes you have at Alamo Heights, you play a team of football, you like a rematch of basketball and baseball, but that's going to have to come in the playoffs because you've got SAISD in the other sports.
Yes, and so that was like I said, it's just what it is. But I thought it was good for Alamo Heights, and we were able to keep the same teams that we've always played. Tyvee and Alamo Heights is a great game. Tyvee and Champion's a great game. Tybee, Medina Valley, Lockhart. They're great games, and so I'm glad we kept those.
You have an interesting situation because you're in the middle of greater San Antonio, and so often you have, the Northeast, North Side, SAISD. You have these massive districts that are all playing each other, and the fans, when they come to say, are we home or visitor? Because you're sharing the complex. Alamo Heights, in a sense, has the best of both worlds because you have the benefits of being part of a big city, but you have the small town rivalries. You have your own stadium. You go and play teams that are in their own stadium, at least in football. You get it, and I know how energizing that can be. So that's another reason Alamo Heights is a great situation.
Oh, I love Alamo. I've been there for a long time. They can't get rid of me. But, and that's one of the things I tell people. We are a small town. Go out and take a small town and stick it right in the middle of San Antonio, and that's Alamo Heights. And so you're right. We have, a great stadium. People come out. But, you go right down the street and, there's the houses and there's the businesses of Alamo Heights. It's just like a small town. But you go a little bit further when you're in San Antonio. So that thing is what makes Alamo Heights unique, and the fact that we're a really small district. We're only 8 square miles, and so these kids grow up. They know each other, and they grow up from kindergarten all the way up to 12th grade, and it's a unique situation.
Tell us about your defense coming back. I understand from Dave Campbell, you got some nice speed in the secondary. That's a great luxury.
We have quite a bit of people coming back. We have a lot of our secondary kids coming back, and some defensive linemen, and we're going to have to replace Mackie Carabin, which was a 4-year starter, and that's going to be hard.
That won't be easy.
That's going to be hard to do. He was as good a football player as he was a better kid. I'm going to miss just being around him. I was fortunate enough to teach him in class and then on the football field, and that's going to be tough to replace him. So we're going to have to do that. But the defense, we're expecting some great things out of the defense.
And on offense, I understand you're retooling the offensive line, but you have some great speed at those skill positions. That's certainly going to be a great starting point for you, I'm sure. We
have a couple of kids that are coming back that have played a couple of years, and that's always good. We have to break in a new quarterback, and that's always, it's a challenge. And he's a great athlete. Kobe Love's a great athlete, and he's been on the varsity for the last 2 years. But he's going to have to be the guy now. And so, we're going to have to realize that, he's not the quarterback that we had last year, but he brings some unique things to the table that I think, are really going to help at Alamo Heights. And, we're always, we put a lot on our quarterback, reads and knowing what to do in different situations. And he's had a really great spring in 7-on-7, and I think he's going to step in and do really good.
The modern game, in terms of the speed and the high-scoring offenses, has been a part of Alamo Heights really for a couple of decades now. It helped win them a state championship in the mid-aughts. So is this going to be another one of those years where the football games outscore the basketball games?
It could. You never know.
As long as Alamo Heights scores more.
Well, exactly. We've been doing this. They did it before I got here, with Gaylord Finley and then Don Bird. And I'm just trying to, continue the legacy that they've started. And we've been doing this, like I said, since 1990. Of course, we throw a little, little different things here and there, and we tinker with it. But this is something we've been doing a long time, and we feel really comfortable doing it, and the kids feel comfortable doing it. It starts, they come and watch us, and then they, 7-on-7 in our elementary, and then our junior school, and then the high school. And so I think, we've had success doing it, and we're going to keep on doing it, and hopefully we can keep on outscoring the basketball team and the other team.
I'd like to hear a little bit about the ongoing rivalries that you have, because I'm aware of some things that in this coaching community, with Keith Kaiser over at Bernie Champion, David Jones at Kerrville Tybee, for example, that if it's Friday Night Lights, you definitely want to beat those other guys, but off the field, there's a real camaraderie, there's a real community there that's vital to you coaches.
Oh yeah, I think San Antonio is a close knit, coaching fraternity. If you say, we all saw each other. We were picking officials on Friday, and you go and you talk to everybody, and yeah, you want to beat that other team, but at the same time, we care about each other. we keep up with each other, and if one of the coaches is having a hard time, health-wise or family-wise, we'll call them, see if there's anything we can do. And that's what makes, coaching unique, is that, you're competitive and you want to win, but at the same time, that other person is a person also. And that goes through, we're not, I think the coaches, if you're in it for the right reason, you just don't want to win. You want to be it the right reasons, teach the kids life lessons, and that goes for us too.
What are some things you're looking for from the Mules in 2019 to make that the next successful season for the Mules?
Well, we're going to have to, you said earlier, we're retooling the offensive line. So, we don't have any starter coming back on the offensive line. So that's going to be a challenge, and we're going to have to, really get those guys going. We're going to have to be consistent, stay healthy. And so we've done a really good job, I think, over the offseason trying to do some things to make sure that, our bodies can withstand the rigors of the season. We're going to have to do that. And we're just going to have to, continue what we're doing, which is continue to buy in and come together as a team. And that's almost every year we have to do that.
Coach Norment, thank you very much for
All right,
joining
thank
us.
you.
Have a good season this year. And that's Mike Norment, head coach of the Alamo Heights Mules, who will have all their games in football carried on Texas Sports Productions and available on local radio in San Antonio as well on 93.3 FM, as they have in previous seasons. Well, Coach, thank you for joining us. We'll be back in a few minutes with our next guest here at the Texas High School Coaches Convention. I'm Mark Husenberger with TexasSportsProductions.com.